name is Dr. Hanson, Mark Hanson. I'm in mechanical engineering.
What are you working on right now?
Well, most recently I've been working on what's called third body contact. And that is when you have, see, normally in gears and bearings and situations you get objects pressed together under what are called heavily loaded concentrated contacts. Sometimes you get contaminated particles in there like sand or something, or from being in contact the surfaces wear and those little wear particles come loose and they can get back in the contact region again. So you have these heavily loaded contacts pressed together with very tiny particles in between them, and that can cause what's called stress concentrations.
So let's break that down a little bit. Dr. Hanson studies the effects of gear teeth as they grind against these foreign bodies. A common example of these particles are the microscopic aluminum fragments shown. These particles are about half the thickness of a single sheet of paper. Specifically, Dr. Hanson uses complex differential equations to analyze stresses. He explains that, compared to the relative size of the particle, the gear teeth and their area of contact can be assumed semi-infinite. This assumption is only important because it makes complex math much easier. The hard part now comes in approximating the particle shape. Assuming the shape is spherical makes the math even less difficult, but results in less accurate answers. More complex geometrical shapes reflect the true shape of the particle, but at the cost of more difficult equations to solve. The general consensus is to use the oviform or egg-like shapes shown as your particle geometry. This allows for more accurate results while keeping the calculations fairly straightforward.
Goal is really to try and come up with some estimate of what the stress concentration is caused by that tiny particle.
While watching this video, you probably think reducing stress in gears only pertains to factories with big machines. However, we use gears in our everyday lives in ways that you might not have realized. One thing we can all relate to is driving. Most of us drive to and from work or school every day, and we are constantly looking at ways to cut down on our transportation costs. According to a credible article about lubricant contaminants, reducing particle contamination in engine oil improved fuel economy by 5 to 8% in automobiles. This means that if you keep foreign particles out of your engine oil by regularly changing it, you can save up to $60 a year. This amount has been calculated by assuming an average drive of 20 miles a day, 5 days a week. Many people drive twice as much as that, so that $60 savings could turn into a total savings of $120 a year. Think about that the next time you change your oil.
But after switching, after we put the Dello in, roughly 2 years ago, after our overhaul, we haven't noticed wear yet. I mean, there's still like they got put in that day. After seeing the engine wear and how that problem got fixed, we have completely switched everything over to Dello.
While professors like Dr. Hanson have made large strides in preventing gears from being damaged, there is still more to do. In the future, researchers hope to develop tougher gears that can easily resist wear and tear from contaminating particles. While all of this is good, there are still many questions raised about the subject and what can happen when multiple particles affect the gears in a certain area. When it comes to the contamination itself, the lubricant makes all the difference. By finding a better formula for lubrication, researchers may be able to drastically reduce friction associated with third body contact.